I'm working on this middle spoon right now. It's an 1830s, a little on the beefier side, but that'll be good for featherball golf and gutta percha golf. Let me show you how I got there and what I plan to do next. I took a template, traced it on the board, cut it out with the bandsaw for this particular club. Sometimes I'll use the turning saw up here. Depends on my mood, I guess. The nice benefit of the bandsaw is you'll get a nice 90-degree cut. So after that, I took a rasp and went all the way down to these template lines. And here I'm not there yet, but I did that with this club. After I did that, I took the top and sole profiles or templates, traced it on the top and the sole here, and then I cut it out with a turning saw and got the what they call the broken out club head. So very rough at this point. And then for the previous video I showed how I did some rough shaping. So that rough shaping entailed, well, let's see, you can see better here, putting a little bit of a angled top, and it's also domed a little bit. Sometimes the tops were flat, sometimes they were domed, but mostly they were domed a little bit at least. So that was some rough shaping. I also shaped the neck a little bit, and so still pretty rough. What we're trying to accomplish is something like this. This is a Peter Paxton club. You can see the neck. Comparing it to this neck of the club that I'm working on, you see I have a long way to go. Here's a finished putter that I made. You can see the neck is a lot closer to that. Now for this club, because it's a full swing club, and these are putters here, I'm gonna make this neck a little beefier. Some necks were quite rounded. Here you can see the neck is very rounded. If we flip it over, there's a lot of rounding over, and there's no flat spots, no edges, no corners. But on some clubs, some of the McEwen clubs, especially some of the Philp clubs, on the sole and at this transition between the sole and neck, you would see these edges sometimes. Sometimes these weren't always taken down all the way. So this is a club I made that is supposed to be a Philp club, so I left those edges or arises a little sharper, as opposed to this Tom Morris club that I made, and that you don't see any of the edges. So I'm gonna have to work that down using a combination of some rasps, flat rasp, cabinet maker's rasp, and a card scraper, and we'll work that down to try to get that shape. Just a lot of back and forth looking at it. I'm not going to bore you with the details, but we'll try to get it close to that shape. So really the final step in shaping the head is to just shape this transition area, maybe sand down or round over these edges to however you want, and some of these edges on the bottom. So we'll use the scraper and the rasp for that. And then after that, the head is shaped. And then from that point, you want to put the lead groove in. So there's lead there. And I've showed some videos on how to make this groove and how to pour the lead in a little less than a year ago, I believe. And also, I showed some videos on how to put the horn in. Here's the mortise for the horn, and here's the horn that would fit in there. So you could look at that and get a decent sense, and probably if you know anything about woodworking, you should be able to make a club or a decent functional club on your first go round, I would think, or maybe second go round. Whether it breaks or not, that's a little different story. There's a lot of knowledge you need about grain direction and things like that. So I do go through that more in my book, talk more about grain direction, types of woods, and all those kind of things. I do have some copies left. Once they're gone, they're gone. I'm pretty sure I'm not going to print anymore unless some publisher wants to pick up the book, but you really don't need too many tools. This is the list, the kind of the tools that you need. You don't need too many. Just goes through step by step, and you should be able to build a club without a problem, even if you don't have that much woodworking experience, or even if you have no woodworking experience. You should be able to build a club. The only thing I would say without woodworking experience is how to take care of your tools. You have to have sharp tools. If you don't have sharp tools, you're going nowhere with this, with any woodworking, in fact. So that's the first thing I would learn. And then once you're comfortable with that and have tools that are functional, then you could whale away, because you just got a little piece of wood here. It's not like you're working with a whole piece of furniture. If you screw it up, you've wasted some time, but you haven't wasted that much money. So it's not a very risky proposition to start your hand tool woodworking with making golf clubs. So yeah, so this gets you more enveloped in the history, as well as just some more details that I haven't discussed on the Instagram posts. So I got about 35 of these left, still for sale. Just type in Practical Club Making on a search for on Google. You should be able to find the book, and that's it.